And good morning once again, everyone. It is Mornings with Pat Kreitlow on 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices, and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. Beautiful start here in north central Wisconsin at our downtown studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street in downtown Wausau. Plenty of sunshine, temperature already warming up, 65 degrees. It'll be a warm one here today. Highs in the lower 80s. Then, of course, we will have a chance of some rain as we get into the evening and tomorrow. And then really hot on the weekend. 92 on Saturday, 93 on Sunday.
Oh, my
goodness. So, again, it's going to be true summer weather. You hear the voice of Ian Welsh. Ian, good morning.
Good morning, Chad.
I want to talk a little bit more about this letter to the editor that the mayor of Wausau has sent to the Wausau Pilot and Review. Just talked about it with Pat Kreitlow. But recently, Shireen Seward of the Pilot had put out an article recommending that the city go to a city manager form of government. And folks here in this community, remember, in the past decade or so, there was actually a vote on this. And the folks voted to keep the mayor council form of government. But now Shireen Seward, seeing a lot of the dysfunction that we are currently witnessing in City Hall in the city of Wausau, came out with a editorial that said that she would believe that Wausau will be better served with a city manager. And responding to that, the mayor of Wausau, Doug Denny, has sent in a note and saying that he agrees that he has found that despite his hard work and despite his goodwill, that he's just not been able to fix all the dysfunction that's going on. And it's not about mistakes he has made. It's about structure. That's what he says. It's let me read one of the paragraphs early on. And I think folks, and again, they can check it out, the entire letter that the mayor had sent to Wausau Pilot and Review at the website, wausauPilotandReview.com. But Mayor Denny said, when I took office, I truly believe through hard work, collaboration, and yes, sheer force of will, we could change the tone and direction of local government. I believe that with enough effort, we could overcome dysfunction and personality-driven politics. But I have come to realize that it's not just a matter of effort or goodwill, it's about structure. And our current structure is holding us back. Well, I don't believe it's the structure. And the idea that under the previous administration of Mayor Katie Rosenberg, that it was a complete dysfunctional government is completely wrong. What I think the actual part of that paragraph that jumped out to me, and that the whole point of what the right has tried to accomplish in Wausau, first by defeating Mayor Rosenberg and now putting in somebody more of their political persuasion in Doug Denny, is the idea of personality-driven politics. And that's what they say. And I look at it completely differently. I don't look at it as personality-driven politics. I look at it as a mayor trying to be a positive force within a community. And that's what Katie Rosenberg did during her term in office.
She did a good job.
And this also goes back beyond the mayoral idea here. It goes back to the idea of a community for all, a community that stands for everybody, not just for the chosen few. And we saw when the Community for All got pushed right back by some members of our community, basically saying, no, we don't want to be known as a community for all. I mean, that said it all right there. Yes, and it continues, I think, through the rest of Mayor Rosenberg's administration, to the election of last year, and now to the Doug Denny administration. But the idea that all of this is structure and has nothing to do with the actions of Mayor Denny since he took office last spring is completely blind to the facts.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that there is not an argument that could be made that maybe a city manager could be helpful in some way. I don't know. I think obviously we're going to go into this discussion. I think after the editorial from Shireen Seward and now the response from Mayor Denny, that this discussion will continue. But I hope that this discussion is a wide net in terms of everything that could be right and also everything that could be wrong with a city manager form of government. I tend to believe that within our system of government, that the voters have a responsibility as well. That the idea that this is almost the idea of moving to a manager form of government, in a sense, is to protect the voters from themselves, in a sense. That if the voters are able to look at the candidates and look at the strengths and the weaknesses of the candidates and then hold our office holders to account, then our system should be able to work. But if you don't believe that the voters are capable of that, then you bring in non-elected folks. And there is a lot of evidence out there that in some cases a city manager can work, but there's also a lot of evidence that it can be very difficult because the good ones tend to be gobbled up. That if you find somebody that's really good, then maybe somebody else in a bigger community who has a greater package of benefits or compensation would be able to come in and make them an offer that they can move on, and then you have to find somebody. And we have seen instances, and not just around the country, but here in the Wisconsin and even in central Wisconsin, where you have whether a manager is not up to the job, or a manager is up to the job but doesn't get along with council. So again, it's not a case where the mayor's having problems with the council. It could just as easily be a manager could have problems with the council as well. So again, this I think is only the beginning of this conversation. But again, I would encourage you to check out WausauPilotReview.com to find out more about what Mayor Doug Dinney wrote in his letter to the editor endorsing the editorial from Shireen Seward. Coming up at the end of the program, we'll have another edition of Number for the Day quiz.
Yes.
And our topic will be Pokemon. So we'll talk about that
awesome.
In our final moments of the show. But coming up next, it's more of Mornings with Pat Kreitlow right after an information update here on 98.9 WXCO.